Hi, everybody. Here we are, back again. Look at me, kind of staying on a schedule. Crazy like me and Susu making a return appearance. Um, and I'm super excited because finally we're gonna watch Miro. And I mean, like, I really have never watched this, but the images that I've seen, um, just I don't know. I'm totally fascinated. I can't wait to see like what the deal is here. Um, just a couple things I want to say, like I got a couple comments that gave me lots of food for thought or sent me in directions. Um, and one of them was to look at the Victory Dance Mama 2020 performance, which was so wild. Oh my God, with like the Game of Thrones or whatever outfits and all those big shields and the swords, and they kind of looked like they were having the time of their lives. Um, but the aesthetic was so different. Uh, it was just it just really made clear how intentional the more grunge, quiet aesthetic of the performance video and overall the I Am storyline, as I guess it is, that we've now concluded as we're about to kind of, I guess, go into the revolutionary stage with Miro. Um, but that makes it feel more accessible, and it's not, yeah, there's like dimensions of fantasy in it, especially with like the institution that they escaped and everything, but it feels like a little dystopian, but very accessible, right? They're kind of wearing normal daily clothes. It's not really the realm of fantasy. So, and we'll see how that continues here. Oh, but I want to talk about Bang Chan's fur coat because that was amazing and it looked really hot to dance in. And then the triangulation, or I mean, I guess the whole thing was a launch for Kingdom, and the dance competition at the end was really intense and amazing. So obviously, I didn't record while I was watching that. I just sort of watched it transfixed, but it was really, really fun. And if you haven't seen it or haven't seen it recently, absolutely recommend. Um, and then also, you pointed out in comments that the the victory dance video began on the shot that the IMU ended. I think I got that right. And that made me think how fascinating to look at the serialization between each music video in terms of cinematography. Um, and I know, just like Elephant in the Room or whatever, I know Stray Kids just released this like meta video Stray Kids that I haven't watched yet that I guess has reference to all visuals and themes and previous music videos. And I'm a little like, do I watch that or will it spoil me? I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm kind of thoughtful about like, could I do an edit that combined all the opening and closing shots of the Stray Kids music videos as I go through them, kind of like what I said I did with Vincenzo, to see like what the patterns are or how you could track the storyline that way. That might be super interesting. Anyway, enough talk. Let's watch Miro. Oh my God, let's do it. Okay, here we go. Okay, I want to wait and get through the whole thing, but I'm also afraid I'm going to lose the ideas. So I'm going to say them now because I feel like I'm going to get overwhelmed and lose them. So, first of all, I was just talking about how it has been like grunge colors, desaturated, and not fantasy, but this looks like it's something out of Willy Wonka or something, like we're suddenly, and it's got this 1940s thing, like there is a genre shift that is happening here that I'm behind. The feel is really different. Of course, this is what they're disrupting, right? Because this must represent, I'm assuming, the like with the fur coats and stuff. And I was just talking about Bangchan's fur coat, so now I'm confused. But this must represent like the extravagance of the wealthy, corrupt society that they are fighting against. And everybody looks very full of themselves and happy in a way that I'm assuming is going to be disrupted. Um, but then, like, yeah, see, they all look so happy. It's a completely different tone, including like with the fanfare introductory music. And then we get to these surveillance cameras, but this is all turned on its head right now because the surveillance cameras are on the powers that be rather than surveying and keeping the stray kids, within the institution and out of control. And we know we've seen them dismantling the cameras. So I guess they put them up to turn it back on the systems of power. Okay, which is kind of mind-blowing when you put it that way. And yeah, and then here we can see that they're watching as this imagery dissolves, and the watched have turned into the watchers. And now they're blending in like these bright colors that are so in contrast to what they were wearing before. I swear at some point I'm gonna get sucked in and I'll stop interrupting. I'm sorry if that's annoying your flow. I just am too excited.
독 벗어 어디 한번 깔아봐라 결국에는 살아남아 어떻게든 살아남아 나는 나의 함정 따위 깔아봤자 난 더 세게 밟아 답은 하나 모두 까고 보면 돼 Stray Kids 힘들지 않아 거친 정글 속에 뛰어든 건 나니까 많은 것이 동굴 닫힌 곳을 잡고 잠시 쉴 시간 없네 난 괜찮아 참고 계속해서 내 앞을 바라보며 뛰면 돼 Run to the middle like a beast the beast 난 기름 다 피가 미숙했지만 새로운 도전 I'm a big grease 내 꿈을 막는 것들을 모두 먹어치워 난 달려 내 꿈을 향한 모험 Stray Kids 힘들지 않아 거친 정글 속에 뛰어든 건 나니까 Okay We
Um, okay, I'm gonna talk generally. Like, there's so much more going on here than I expected, even though I knew to expect things going into this whole journey. Like, there's such a it's so rich, each video, but and this one especially is so rich. There's so many details, and you feel like they could stand up to you going back to them over and over and over again and finding more within them. Not only that they could hold up to that, but like they're meant to hold up to that. They're created with those layers, not like Easter eggs, but they feel so whole. They're not thin at all. There's this like sense of depth to them. And and it's in the cinematography, in the color work, in the specific visuals, in the recalling of symbols. Um, and I know I'm only going to scratch the surface here, but I'm like really just struck by that general sense of richness and depth in this like 3-minute music video that's obviously part of this much larger, longer storytelling. And I think that's like so compelling and amazing. Okay, general like large paintbrush stroke interpretation before we go back again. Like I was struck by the color changes again from the like grunge of up until now. I mean, maybe when we were in the institution, that's just what I'm calling it. That's probably not what I'm supposed to be calling it. Um, I think I've got like it's like a Homer Simpson.
Truly God's country.
That's not even called institution, but like that. Just thinking of it as that, like the institution. When they were in it, there were some bright reds, like lights, and but it was mostly still kind of grungy. But here we have these like primary colors and these neon colors that are strikingly different. There's a much more theatrical set-like feel. It's much less realistic feeling that even though we're looking at the same spaces of like the cities and the liminal buildings where they're looking down at the cities, but the whole thing feels a little more like a Batman, but like a less grungy version of Batman, a kind of there's like a superhero dimension to the aesthetics that create a different tone. And then that mixes really interestingly with the fact that yes, this is the revolution, you can see that, but they're so happy. They're so happy to be revolting, even though there's like people in the creepy masks, like anonymously giving them power, but they're also dancing happily. And that feels really resonant with the emotional journey that we saw them go on, where they sort of found comfort and belief and strength in each other and in their own inadequacies, that they could come together. And so now, like, their revolution is actually joyous, which I didn't expect at all. And it does make the whole like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory like vibe that I mentioned initially. Like the whole thing is fun. Um and I didn't expect that. So okay, let's go back and watch it again. I mean, you do have the shift from like the sort of bright red, like it gets grungier as we see it through the surveillance cameras that they've set up. But it's still much more lively and colorful and playful than previous videos. And I love that transition, the visual transition there. That's like the pixels breaking up, showing that actually this is all being watched by the Stray Kids themselves, because they're now the ones who are invading, surveilling, etc. And looking damn good while doing so. I love how they masquerade in these like their little red like rebel without a cause jackets. I love Felix's look. I just love it. With a little touch of neon coming through too, a hint of what's to come. Oh, those guys do look very proud and full of themselves in their fur coats and top hats. And their, like, mustaches and beards, that's pretty awesome too.
힘들지 않아 거친 정글 속에 뛰어든 건 아니까 I'm okay We going higher down 도시 속에 빌딩들 내려보며 fly all day Woah 저 위로 갈래 Woah 더 높이 날래
So the idea is that from being in the spaces of District 9, now they're invading the cities, but they're doing it from above so they can look down and running across the building tops, and there's kind of like a parkour, like the city is their playground, but also where they're planning their sort of revolution from the rooftops. From this position of power, from being above and looking down. But there's like this freedom in there, collective, like flexibility and ability to kind of move freely in that space, but together.
처음이라서 당근해봤어 처음이란 무기 가졌어 처음이라서 독 벗어도 어디 한번 깔아봐라 결국에는 살아남아 어떻게든 살아남아 나는 나의 함정 따위 깔아봤자 난 더 세게 밟아 답은 알아 모든 까고 보면 돼
Okay, that rap sequence was incredible. And the sort of this message of there being power in taking a risk and it being your first time is interesting. And I love that little detail of the like lion balloon representing like the actual like lion like breaking through. It's the lion that they're feeling, but they're so happy. They don't look angry. They look really happy about this.
Stray Kids! 힘들지 않아 거친 정글 속에 뛰어든 건 아니까 I'm okay We're going higher down 도시 속에 빌딩들 내려보며 fly all day
Okay, the fact that they talk about in the next city is interesting because it makes me feel like this is just like step one in the revolution and that there is this more expansive plan that they have. Why are they now giving a press conference? So they won? Are they in charge now? Are they being interviewed for the disruption that they caused? I want to read the book. This makes me really, really want to read the book. And maybe I've missed or there's to come like film trailers and such that explain this. I know Bang Chan does some kind of review at some point that obviously I haven't watched because I didn't want to get spoiled. But yeah, I just feel like I want to watch the movie. Okay. Oh no. I have to go back. That shot was amazing. And so okay, I paused to get the right spot because this shot is so cool where there's like the shadow connected to their choreography taking over the like darkening the image. And it turns into night and like a very Batman looking night, but it makes me think of like how in Um, I think it was in Victory Song, right? We were talking about night coming, and here too, you have this real sense of the progression of time, except in this moment, it's like they are bringing on the night, they are bringing on the change.
마른과 시동굴 닫힌 곳을 잡고 잠시 쉴 시간 없네 난 괜찮아 참고 계속해서 내 앞을 바라보며 뛰면 돼 Run to the middle like a beast, the beast 당기는 다 피가 미식했지만 새로운 도전 I'm a big grace 내 꿈을 막는 것들을 모두 먹어치워 난 달려 내 꿈을 향하고
And I think it's interesting, like the change that they're bringing on is this change to like the nighttime neon aesthetic, and then there's that in that shot they're wearing like kind of what looks like Stray Kids band T-shirts, and so I feel like there is this not exactly breaking of the fourth wall, but the suggestion that this is in our world, that we can participate in this by being Stay, by being fans. We're also supporters of this revolution.
Stray Kids! 힘들지 않은 거친 정글 속에 뛰어든 건 나니까 Okay We going higher down 도시 속에 빌딩들 내려보며 fly all day 힘들지 않은 거친 정글 속에 뛰어든 건 나니까 Okay We going higher down 도시 속에 빌딩들 내려보며 fly all day
Okay, that build, that section, it's so catchy. It's just really super catchy. Ah, that was so fun. That was just like so much. I mean, I was excited for it, obviously. That was more like fun than I expected. And the storytelling is so immersive. Like, we have enough to understand what's going on, but I also feel like we could absolutely spend like so much more time in it. This could be a 50-hour television show or something that I would watch the hell out of, right? And now I wonder if there's like really long form fan fiction that does that, or if that's not a thing. I'm curious. Uh, but yeah, and obviously the story is going to keep progressing. It's just kind of taking off now. Yeah, so that was like delightful. It was fun. It was intriguing. It was catchy. Uh, and I am so glad to be at this point. And I will keep going. I hope at this continued more rapid speed. Thanks for sticking around. In all of these, it's like I'm sure in looking at this older material, I'm not necessarily coming up with anything new, and maybe other people have said all of this before, especially because I've been trying not to be too spoiled and haven't looked at a ton of other interpretations, or really any. Uh, so yeah, so I hope it's still fun to watch along, and I'd always love to hear perspectives like as I go that I may have missed. I'm sure also retrospectively that's harder because I don't have that insight yet, but that once going back, there'd be so much more to spot, um, after having gone through it all once. Yeah, again, so it's like something that is meant to keep giving. Okay, thank you all for joining me. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.